Game started.
1e6. Okay. Well, it's my turn to play the English opening, I think. It goes e6 anyway. Okay, let's go with c4 and g3. Okay, so white has got this very solid setup here. Let's develop my bishop first. If he pushes the d-pawn forward, the knight can go to e4, I guess. So this is looks like it's transposing into some kind of Catalan. He can take the pawn. Maybe he should. Maybe he should. But he doesn't, so I don't know, I take. Okay, let's get the bishop outside the pawn chain before playing e3. Then I want to keep this diagonal open for the bishop, so I'm bringing my knight to e2. Knight e2, maybe to f4. Bishop to c6. I have no idea what that is about. And I'm going to just castle here. Put my rook on the c file. A very symmetric position in terms of pawn structure. The piece placement is a bit different, and I have a fianchettoed bishop, so those are the little differences here. So should I expand on the queen side? I see. The bishop on c6 is acting against my plan of playing e4. If I ever wanted to play e4, that would be difficult here. If I trade off the knight, another knight comes to replace it, so he's always going to have knight and bishop on that square. So if I want to get an e4, I'd have to play something like f3 and then e4. So how about, though, if I go with b4, b5 and just kick that bishop back. Okay, so he decides to stop that. Well, let's put a pawn forward anyway. The knight is defended, so there's no discoveries against it. Could even play rook to b1. And yeah, he can drop a rook in on that square. Not much I can do about that. So rook b1, knight to c4. I could play pawn to you have to defend the b pawn first. I can play pawn to a4 after knight to c4. And my rook is defending b4. That was the point of moving the rook before before pushing the pawn. The knight was threatening to take that pawn, of course. So now I can actually do something here, maybe. Yeah, he's not allowing it. Okay, so let's take. I took with the bishop. Okay, so he's let the pressure off of he's left the pressure off of e4. So I can go pawn to e4. Knight takes, I take the bishop. And then I take the knight. Pawn takes, I take with the knight. Still interesting play by 1e6 here. Really stopped what I was doing on the queen side. It looks like a reasonable square for his bishop. There's a potential pin here. I'm not going to move that knight immediately. And he's not got any immediate pressure on my d-pawn. If I can get rid of his dark squared bishop, this b-pawn here will be easier to defend. Yeah, I forgot that this was hanging. Oh, it's not. It's defended by my knight. Okay, so I can take here. Let's see. I mean, there is this kind of trail of destruction. Okay, didn't go for it. He could have taken the knight, threatening my queen. And then I can grab back here. So now I have two isolated pawns, but yeah, some active pieces here, it looks like. His knight can maybe do some annoying things. These squares are covered. He can only go to a3, I guess. Or back to d6. So he chooses to go back. So I think my bishop should retreat too as well. So maybe rook to e1 and rook to a1 are ideas here. Rook to e1 to unpin the knight, rook to a1 to start pressurizing the pawn on a3, which can't so easily be defended yet. So now he's starting to pile up on my poor d-pawn. If things get bad, I can push the d-pawn forward. Got the queen and the bishop on this square. Yeah, it looks kind of bad, doesn't it? So if I push, he takes. I take with the bishop. He's got an uncomfortable pin and a loose knight. Still, he'll have to take with the pawn. I have a discovery with my knight against his queen if he takes, or he could push past. He took. I thought knight to knight d4 would be a double attack, hitting his queen and hitting the knight. Knight d4. He moves his queen to defend the knight. I guess that's the idea. Do I have some other discovery that is stronger? There's knight f4. He moves the queen and then I can take the pawn. Maybe that's what I should do. The knight will be pinned, but it's also defended by the bishop, and I can move my queen to b3 to defend from an angle. So I should be able to get away with that, getting that pawn back. And if he moves his queen to the d file, then it's not really a pin because my queen is protected. It's only a pin if the rook is opposite my queen. Okay, what now? Queen went that way. Okay, so let's grab. Yeah, he's looking at my f-pawn. His knight can't get to it immediately. Okay, so let's get that pawn back. And maybe bring my queen out somewhere to unpin and also to activate. Activating is good. Yeah, so he's looking at the e7 square as well and looking to double. So if I go queen to queen g4, hitting the knight, knight can't. The knight could go to h6 to harass my queen, and then I'll move my queen somewhere else. But anyway, I need to unpin that knight right away. Maybe there's a check here right on f6, knight f6 check, taking advantage of the pin, picking up the rook. Yeah, actually, I don't know how he, how does he meet that threat? The counterattacks on f2 are not yet happening. He's got the queen in place, but the knight is not in place on the rook. Well, he could go with the other rook to c2, gang up on that square, which would give me the check and pick up the exchange, but then he could grab on f2. with the queen and then mate me by taking on g2. So rook c2 looks like a good idea here. Oh, but I have a rook to the back rank. I have a mate on the back rank, so he can't play rook c2. Okay, so I think black is in trouble here then. Let's see if he can find something. Moving the king. Ah, but his knight is hanging. Yeah, I don't know. How does he get out of this? So, interesting game. It was pretty even, it seemed. Pushed my pawns forward. Yeah, so he moves his knight there, hitting my queen. So I have the check. The king moves. And then I can play... no, I can't play queen takes rook because it's defended by his bishop. Knight here, check. King moves, and then what do I have? If he goes here, I have the check there. But he can go to the corner. Right here, check, king to the corner. It's not quite working, is it? Well, I can give the check first and then play queen to g4.
Check.
I mean, it does force his king all the way back to the corner. And I have rook here, check. That just is a trade, but it will get my knight out of trouble. But I have to get my queen out of trouble. So let's go here. And see if he has something against me here, which he might, I don't know. But, well, I do have this back rank. He has this back rank problem. I have the d2 square covered by my queen, so I can't play rook d2, for example. His rook is hanging. Can he attack my queen again? The knight can't attack it. The rook can't attack it. Yeah, I guess he can't attack my queen. So he does go there. Bah, he missed. He missed, then I have that covered. Which I didn't notice at first either. So
Black resigns.
he resigns. Anyway, yeah, this will be an interesting game to look at with the chess engine. So I will upload this and see you guys later. Bye.